So we got the pain body, right, which is a symptom of kind of living in the past, right? You're not living in your now, right? You're not free when you're in your pain body.
When you're triggered, you're pushed.
You go right back.
You go right back to that memory, and we invest ourselves in the emotion that memory has placed for us. So now it's not even about the memory; it's about our body being fooled by that emotion. Our mind is now tricked into thinking we are living in that emotion again. So we're reliving our past.
All of those emotions, the tingles, the redness, it washes, it marinates all of it over again.
Yeah.
And it says, boom, you just made another investment.
Yeah. All of your brain wires are firing focus on that past or pain, and now we're just living in that past, formulating how our future is dictated by our past.
Right.
So now our future is more predictable than ever because it's only a reliving of our past. We have a thought. We react to that thought based on a memory of the past and the emotion it brings.
Right.
So now that thought has become an action.
Yeah.
That action is now that action, based on repetition, becomes a habit. Our habits become our behaviors, which then become our characteristics, and now we have a personality based on our past memories. Now we're living in a state of perpetual suffering because we're only reliving the memories of our past and not breaking out of this loop. When we live in a familiar state, we can predict our future because we're never going to branch out of it. Like I said, 90% of our actions are programmed from our first 35 years old. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. And let's say 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had the day before. And continue that, we're living in a perpetual loop based on our past.
Those first 35 years, you're learning some of that generational curse. It's being baked in.
Yeah.
And whether, that's
nurture and nature, right?
Yeah. It's coming down, right? And it's really up to you to see the here and the now. I'm going to stop that right this second. And I'm not going to do that anymore.
We talk about reacting, right?
That's right. Acknowledging it and breaking out of it. And starting by just do nothing the next time you feel like you need to do something.
And we've gone through this. So reacting to feeling, emotion, reacting, right? We talked about that last time. Yeah. That goes into neuroplasticity. To change your behavior, you can trick your mind by visualizing or thinking successful, thinking creation, thinking of very empowered thoughts. If you think and have intention, you will trick your mind to getting out of this loop of behavior that we're always in, because we're always set back to go into the same. If you trick your mind to accept change, you'll then be creating these neural links in your mind that are outdating these loops you've been living in.
The original piece was the trick, and you're freeing yourself from what's being tricked, which is you're never going to get past this. You're always a failure. You're always going to do this thing or whatever.
And why do we feel these ways, right?
That's the trick.
That's the trick.
Yeah, from the Christian perspective, that's the enemy. That is literally Satan whispering in your ear.
Shoulder.
Right. Little devil on your shoulder.
Devil on your shoulder.
Like,
you're not good.
It's not going to work out for you now.
Yeah. Don't accept that interview.
No. In fact, cheat on your wife.
You're good the way you are.
Yeah.
You're good the way you are.
Take another line of coke.
Everything's good here. We don't need to change.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
We're comfortable with this pain.
Right.
We're comfortable because it's familiar. And it's the addiction to the past experiences as it's familiar. We'd rather feel guilt and pain because it's familiar than stepping into that unknown that's even scarier. And we need to step into that unknown and embrace the unknown to actually experience change. And that's where we create neuroplasticity and new wirings, new networks of change, of possibilities to break out of this onion layer of closed network systems of our past.
Right. To add to that, like on a different level, but on the same, if you are what you eat. You are what you put into your body. You are a vibration. So you are what you listen to.
Yeah.
You are what you watch on TV. All that stuff becomes you.
Right.
So it's the same thing.
That's where vision boards like
success. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
When you start to risk take outside of your comfort zone, which is the pain body would be, unfortunately, a comfort area.
It is a comfort area. It's familiar.
It's familiar. It feels
good.
Pain
is familiar. Right. These pains are addictive.
This also gives them some sort of purpose.
We're always waiting for something on the outside to change us. We're waiting for that relationship to give us love. We're waiting for that job to give us success. But
We're waiting for our ship to come in.
That's cause and effect. It's a fallacy. But we need to cause the effect.
Exactly.
We need to cause the effect by stepping outside of our comfort zone, looking at that vision board of success, and becoming that.
I'm with you. Yeah, and so it's that whole. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, right? And you're putting door jam by door jam. You are becoming, since you knew not when, this new creation, right? You're taking this on. But you have to break out of the brain body, right? You have to break out of that sin. You have to go, hey, look, step at a time. And yeah, failure is not failure until you actually quit.
Right. There really is no failure.
Right.
I mean, there is no
failure is your own
it's
thing.
Up here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, people can make so many examples of how failure does exist, but that you can always backtrack that to an excuse. Failures only work if they stop you from doing. We're living in the same loop of life, or we're stepping out of our comfort zone, going into the unknown, going into the void, and finding what's there. The hero's journey.
What is it? Michael Jordan says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. Whatever the case.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, the only reason why I know that is because of The Office. Michael Scott quotes Wayne Gretzky.
It's probably wrong there, Michael.
And here's the thing about stepping out of our comfort zone and our pain body. Most people wait for a traumatic amount of pain and suffering to step out of their comfort zone. We don't need to wait for the pain to change. We need to do it on our own terms.
Yeah.
To accept these changes before it's too late and we have to experience them through some cataclysmic event of trauma in our life. In our mind, we a lot of times only think about the worst case scenario. And if we think about the worst case scenario, we are manifesting that scenario. We are oblivious to all the other infinite possibilities that now can produce. We need to be able to broaden and see all of our decisions before we are triggered into doing the one thing we've always done, that rut in the carpet. Because if we don't think about it and we're not conscious of it, we will automatically be in that rut, in that carpet, before we know what we're doing. We forget that our personalities come from first thought. Thought becomes an action, then becomes a habit, becomes a behavior, characteristic, and personality. People try to create different realities for themselves with the same personality they keep.
Yeah.
So we're trying to create new worlds and new perceptions in our lives using the same personality traits that we have adapted to through our programmed mind. We are basically, our subconscious mind, which is our emotional body, how our body reacts, outweighs our thinking mind.
Right.
Because our body's been programmed for years of perpetual loop. So we can't create a new reality by keeping this same personality. We're not the masters of our body anymore. We are not the programmers of this. It has been like if you think of our brain as a computer, it's been programmed through loops to only do one thing. So we have to recircuit our brain, get into the operating room of it, and start creating new wires, new circuits of experience to break out of this, the neuroplasticity of it. So we have to create a new stance, new ideas. We have to create new behaviors. We have to create new experiences and become new habits. They become new characteristics that can create a new personality for us to change, see the world differently, experience our thoughts differently, and create new opportunities based on new experiences.
We have all been, ideally just bred into this thought over and over again. And we're just over and over again, repeated pattern, different way, just come around. And as soon as we break that, we no longer have that pattern. That pattern disappears and it's gone.
I'm there.
From there on.
No, I'm there. I believe you're right. With the idea that this periodicity, this cycle, right? We're meant to see that, right? You break out of that sin cycle, right? You put it away. And this is your chance to go forward, right? You break the loop. We were born to just feel comfort from these cycles.
Comfort our box. Thinking inside the box.
Right. And the ability to break out of that and say, like, you know what? Today it can be different.
When we step out of the box, it is very uncomfortable. If we are not aware of that uncomfortability, our programmed mind will step right into autopilot and push us right back into line. We have to be aware of it and not react. You have to practice in the mind. So intention means everything. You will see that in time, these neural links will become stronger. In your mind, you're living past you're living not in your past, but you're living in a future that your past doesn't recognize.
Right. And near anticipation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so now not the predictable future, more of the future, the quantum future of unlimited possibilities.
Right. Positioning yourself to observe something different. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.